Right, Fambulema, bring warm greetings to Una from the TNN TV Media Empire. Today, the 10th of April, 2022. Me now, Una host and presenter, Prince Emil Kumari, come to Una live. Um, just for catch up with a few things before we get into the program and introduce we guest. We've been having one or two issues. People already in the broadcasting business, they understand the technical issues, especially when you're limited on staff with staff and etc. So we've been undergoing such issues. But notwithstanding, there is no way we're gonna abscond from with duty, one of which we don't take almost an oath for inform with people about the pros and cons, the to's and fro's, exactly waiting to happen in our country as we understand it, but from an informed point of view. Okay. Like I say again, wonderful time. For great to all. This is the TNN TV Media Empire, and welcome to the program. This is a very special broadcast, and we get a very special guest who will introduce very, very shortly. Fambulem, we country don't go through many, many difficulties. In terms of difficulties, it's not new at all. It's not the first time we're going through difficulties. We've been going through this for like decades, but there are times when the difficulties we country they go through it does get worse. It does get worse. And at this particular point in time, we are seeing one of those periods. This is not propaganda. This is not misinformation. It's just based on facts. You see, sometimes people in Kiwan deny that this is not the case, but at the same time, they can turn around and make a case for the situation where they happen. And that tells you exactly where we stand, that when we say something, is absolutely correct. Today, we get a very strong man within the All People's Congress, and he's a spokesperson, the publicity man. When he speaks, everybody tend for pause and listen, especially so at this very critical time. So Fambulen, we get none other. He not join we as yet, but he go join we in a few minutes time, hopefully. Minkailu Payamba Koroma. Now, Ina we guest for tonight. And we get Boku Boku things them for talk about. Boku Boku things them. As I say, we country is plagued or faced with multifaceted problems from different levels. So we bring people away jam into the conversation for can help we for understand. So Fambulen, please, make we shape this video far and wide. Some of the things that we will get for talk about today. Now, both about the then and the now and going into the future. Let us not forget the election day upon we. And this election, yeah, we want to make sure say we people them are well informed so that when they go to the ballot box, not based on a degree of bias, not based on a degree of tribal sentiment, but what do they try for do now for create that kind of a feeling of country first so that you understand what the problems are. And hopefully, together we all can find solution by making the right choice. Having said this, I don't want people interpreting this as me endorsing a particular political party. That's not what I'm doing. I want the family understand this clearly well. What we say, go make the people and make a decision on whether they for go forward with them. So, like I say, we get boku boku tine for talk about there is massive, rampant corruption. When I know we now, what we they talk, A, is factual. That's why we dey look for people that we go challenge we on the basis of facts. If you get the facts, based on what we say, a contrary to what we dey say, come on and challenge we. Pick up the phone, engage we in the chat room, send an invitation. We go reply or respond in kind and bring you come on so we'll go talk about them. So once again, family, what we dey talk is nothing but the fact. We fact check them and we take them, we put them. So there's a rise in corruption. And there's a misnomer, and this nine are the misnomer fambulem. Because what we know, the government in power, the thing we is sell to the Sierra Leonean people or we the people is like there is massive corruption. But this state of mind needs for change. For let we all better, and ye all a slogan, power pass along for better. For let we all better, it means say we get for put hands together and kick the government where they in power because they're not doing well for you. But when we come, we go change this. This was a promise and a solemn promise. The question here is, Has that been done? Has that been done? That's the question. We definitely know the answer because we get 4 years for reflect on. So this is where the confusion come in. This is where Fambulem need for smart up. It's like one moment people and they admit say, well, now true things they know they go well, and because of the international crisis, we only start the 24th of February where Russia invade Ukraine. That's when some people and things say we crisis start, including with leadership. They tell we the people. But again, now because they expect we for be dumb. But we are not dumb. We are not dumb. And even the people that we not tend for understand them, this na in with the try for do not the platform, we broken down for we people and so that we people understand exactly what the issues are, how they can speak to these issues. So once more, Fambulen today, we expect for host Mr. Minkailu Koroma, a very strong man within the opposition party. When he speaks, people listen because what he is a germane to a political, social, and economic situation of the country, especially from an opposition point of view. We want to talk about GST today. I hope time permits we. Of course, some of the things they are not just passing by. Because what you make elect for doing on the platform is touch on almost every issue way possible. So we want to talk about GST. Not too long ago, shops then at Freetown were closed. I remember everything we get there in conversation there, which is good to some extent, but some people and the way they can characterize their situation today is absolutely not proper because everything they see them within the political lens. But then they go accuse you of you they see them in a political lens, which is what we call in psychology projection, which you intend for do, now you they accuse somebody of, or which you they think about, now you they accuse somebody of. But we understand this. So we talk about the GST and we talk about the unnecessary part of the GST. What did the GST mean? And we they ask questions so we can have a conversation. And they came down hard on us. It's like, now APC, you cannot be critical of the situation, of the government, without you belonging. Okay? So today, Family, like I say, we get a very special guest on the platform today. We now Mr. Alfred Minkailu Payamba Koroma. If you hear me, sir, you video no, you need for come up a little bit on your video so you can be on par with me. I don't know whether you hear me. So okay, let me just bring you come on quickly. Okay, brilliant stuff. Okay, if you can come go up a little bit more so that we can be on level, that go fine. And I hope say you hear me, sir.
Yeah, they get you loud and clear.
Brilliant stuff. I'll be just to say if you can get your video up, you been can't go up just now, but you stop. Okay. Okay, I think that will be okay. That's fine. So we're on level now. Many thanks. And Fambud and like I've been they say, we get none other but Alfred Minkailu Payamba Koroma on the program here today. And like I say, when Payamba speaks, everybody stop for listening, especially at critical times like these. And what will be to say just before Mr. Koroma joined the platform is the state of the state in which we state today. There are many things that are going completely wrong. I go move you for now. I they watch you while she they try for settle down. Yeah, you just settle down. So there are many things happening in the state where we live in today. The country is faced with multifaceted problems, whether not water or energy. You know, you can talk about the infrastructure in itself, whether not energy, and you can broken down to the various components or compartmentalize them, what it mean in terms of energy, whether not electricity and what electricity mean, whether not factory or operational needs, you can break them down yourself. But these are the kind of problems that we face with water crisis, energy crisis, petroleum crisis, electricity crisis, everything in the country. So much so fumble that the government itself don't admit, say, indeed that there is a problem. But waiting and they fail for do is now for take ownership. The government itself, I repeat, don't accept, say, that there is a problem in the country. But there is an upside down side to all of this because one moment, then they take ownership, and then the next moment, for let it suit them, then they say, no, we're not responsible. I mean, people cannot be fools for letting them listen to such a thing where they come out from, then government, we suppose for they make provisions for them. If there is no electricity, there is only one person responsible, one entity responsible. and that is the government of the Republic of Sierra Leone. If there is a lack of water, drinking water, clean drinking water for the people of the country, there is only one entity responsible for this predicament where the people find themselves in, and that is the government of the Republic of Sierra Leone. And if there is a lack of basic needs, necessities, and you name it, in we country, the only people and we responsible are those that are in power, because now they make policy which they shape the lives of the people. That is what government is responsible for. The objective of every government, I must repeat here, is for see the good nature, the well-being, the satisfaction, the good health of its citizens. These nine are the objective of every government. Have we seen this? No, it's not happening. Are there reasons? But then are the need for tell we whether there are reasons. But on top of this, we get again, I must say, Mr. Alfred Minkailu Payamba Koroma. Payamba, welcome to the program, sir.
Thanks for welcoming me. Delighted to be on the show. Ramadan Karim to everyone listening.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, like I've been saying in the introduction, it was a lengthy introduction as we did try for adjust, but there are many things ongoing in the country, and they're not strange to you because you occupy a very powerful position within the main opposition bloc. But away from you, even the common man at the streets, because we read the lamentations of the common man on a daily basis. But before we go into this interview, where I want to talk about so many things, where I go hope say you go address, um, I want to let you express your sentiment or your perspective on the state of the state we country day in today, and based on that, we go take them from there.
Yeah, coincidentally, we just witnessed the fourth year of the SLPP in government. In other words, SLPP don't take 4 years now government. Over the past 1 week, a lot of media houses don't they assess the SLPP, try for know if they're able to live up to expectations. Then be given a manifesto in 2018, where they refer to as the New Direction Manifesto or the People's Manifesto. So it begs the question, they meet some of the promises the way they make now the manifesto. So that assessment they don't they go all along the media houses then this week. I mean, I think it is a very good idea for make we start first for assess the SLPP government. Do they meet their promises? The answer is simple. No, they did not meet their promises. Although the president say they don't fulfill all which they promised the people of Sierra Leone, and in fact, now bonus than they give now. The press secretary and presidential spokesman be all over the place. They run a monologue. I mean, they not invite any opposition voice now in one being at TV, radio. I mean, then they wait for sit down and debate with people that were level-headed, we know the issues, we actually go dismiss most of the claims that we then they make. Let me get a feel they all over the place. But when you take a look at the manifesto, it divided into 5 parts. All them parts then they, I don't think say one category they were they actually able to address adequately. I have the SLPP New Direction Manifesto with me here, and I think for the consumption of the one the way they listen, we will run through. Part one, they talk about the introduction, where they talk about socio-economic context, they talk about political ideology, development model, and vision statements. I go avoid that completely. But when we come to part two, when are transforming the economy, they talk about improving the microeconomy, developing the private sector, strengthening the financial sector, developing agricultural sector, improving the management of mineral resources, improving the management of oil and gas exploration, improving the management of marine resources, developing the tourism sector, and developing the manufacturing sector. We not achieve nothing, and take a look at the economy. I mean, we almost approach a state of collapsed economy in this country. There's nothing to write home about the economy. The dollarization, none of us. I mean, the rates at which the loans don't succumb to the dollar, they make everything they go up at alarming rates. You take a look at government budget. Government is running a budget up to 10 trillion loans. They cannot even pay wages and salaries. Every day, then every other day, then they borrow to banks. Look at the taxation system, GST. People they pay a custom GST, and when they can, the retailer them back they pay GST. Even the final consumer they pay GST. When I one of people don't pay, then they overburden the people. Then look at the fuel price. We all know there is a global crisis, but there was a point where fuel even go up to $145 per barrel. We right now not reach so, but Sierra Leone still government be the subsidized fuel during APC time. That was in 2008. Fuel not ever pass 6,000 leons because APC now a welfare government to care for the people. All anything and they will not see the happen now. Now the people are left to cater for themselves. Palmine, basic palmine, oil, tomatoes, maggi, onion, everything just don't go up at an alarming rate. And the ordinary man, the masses, now they suffer the brunt of all of what's in the happen. Government they spend exorbitant money for international travel. Now, we don't witness a situation in which in 2 years, SLPP government spent about 15 million United States dollars in international travel, 2018, 2019. Same cannot be said during the era of President Koroma or even Tijan Kaba, where he put 2 years and not spend more than $2 million for international travel. We also they witness a situation in which this government say that they can't read, that they do currency redenomination. Nobody's asking the cost of redenomination. What would they spend up to 30 million pounds for print new money? And would they spend trillions of loans for destroy the old money? Nobody's asking the cost of redenomination. Nobody wants to know actually what is the benefit. How can they go actually better the country? Nobody's asking that question. A lot of things and the way they happen. Justice is shamelessly being raped. We see currently waiting to unfold now the court system. We see waiting to happen now the human rights sector, the rule of law. Everything is in total disarray. The constitution is being, bastardized. Parliament is being rubber stamp. It's a rubber stamp parliament, I must say. A lot of things they happen at the country were not very correct. We they see all NTR they happen, now that make could tell God thank you. Because some pessimists them they anticipate say election could be 2024. But now see NEC or the Electoral Commission of Sierra Leone don't pull date say election now June 24, 2023. Now we also don't get date for voter registration when September to October. And we APC right now they urge everybody for register because we want pull government, just they say this government will go, but it left to how you people that register, how na put on strategies that in place, how na able rally support, how na able galvanize resources both home and abroad for get them right. The APC they do all of that. We also got a few challenges within the party, internal challenges, whether they not common or any political setting the world over. We they see all anything and they happen, even in the UK, even in America, maybe the best of democracies, we they see anything and they happen. But however, then challenges and then are not unsurmountable. We will put everything under control and we ensure say we do waiting right. We go put we in a position of a better opposition party for take governance.
Okay, Mr. Koroma. Well said. This is not strange to you. This is something that you've been doing for years. So it doesn't come as a surprise, but there was a lot said there, and you don't set the pace exactly like it would be one time. And I will ask you for your sentiment and perspective. So it seems like you don't encapsulate the entire program going forward. But there are a few things there where you talk about where I want for raise, although we go talk about every one of them in passing. Is the new currency you said, it then prints this currency at a cost. And then for destroy the old currency also come at a cost. If I understand the way how you put them, it's not value for money. So my question what I want to ask you, if this is the case, if I get you right, why will government be doing this? What was the motive behind government? They change the currency where they cost them and it's not money value.
Yeah, one thing we I don't come for realize about government them now this part of the world. Now that they left for initiate projects them where they earn their money individually, waiting and the better. I mean, the bank governor, the ministers, and everybody go just think say if I don't come, for example, I meet a project on the pipeline, instead of them try for complete them project, then they will previous government be don't initiate, then they abandon them and can't initiate new project then. Now, what you say they do redenomination, they go at a cost. But nobody not been they ask the question, how much Sierra Leone get for incur for do redenomination? We're not going to just grab go to UK say I can't print new money for we now pay what they pay. And we are paying 30 million pounds for print new money. One day the government, the bank governor not come on air and tell the people and say now this money Sierra Leone they incur for print new money. You know, can't tell me how much we get for spend for destroy the old money. We're not trillions of loans. All of that actually not appropriate. You know, they earn the country any profit. The country will run at a loss. Because even if we do that, the redenomination.
Okay, I think we
What
lost
is
you.
it?
Okay, you're back here. Sorry, we lost you briefly. You're back.
Hello?
Yes, sir, you're back now.
Hello?
We lost you briefly. They hear you.
Hello?
Yes, are they hear you? We they hear you. Go on.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we they hear you.
Yeah, but I am not getting you. That is the
Yeah,
problem now.
I don't know why, but we they
Yeah,
hear
so
you. Yeah, so carry on.
that is it. Yeah. We actually get for ask yourself the question, how much would they spend? How much the country they incur, waiting at the economic benefit, but nobody's asking that question. Aside the redenomination, when I hold project
Will
where
I
they
just
undertake,
pause you? Will I just pause you there quickly because I go one for
I
let
am
you
not
deal
getting
with
you.
that. They
I think
also. Oh dear. Minkailu, you they hear me now?
hello,
Yeah,
my
so maybe
volume is up.
yeah, we they hear you, I they hear you, but you go get for probably come out and come in again. Okay, that's good. Yeah.
Hello?
Yes, you hear me now? Oh dear. Me they hear you. You're fine. But you no they hear you, we good. You don't come out and come back. This is the easy technique. Those way they watch way probably later go get for use the same thing. If it does happen this way, do and for log off and log on again. This interview is quite important, and we are talking to none other but Mr. Minkailu Yamba Koroma. When he talk, the entire country they listen. Because why? It belong to the All People's Congress political party, we not in opposition. And another reason why, because there's so much ongoing in the country, the perspective has to be heard from all sides. And their own side now one of the biggest sides. So therefore, when he talk, there is plenty of interest. So he said a lot there. But before you go forward, because he made quite a good critical case, nobody know they ask of a hold the government to account about this money where they print and at which cost. No one is asking the questions. No one is asking the questions. That's what Mr. Minkailu was saying. Minkailu, you get me, sir?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay,
Loud and
good.
clear.
So if it does happen again at the same thing, no more come on out and come in again. So
Sure.
I've been to pause you. You've been to make a very good and critical case, but I've been to pause you because I've been want to reflect on something where you been to talk about this currency. When you say nobody know they ask, nobody know they hold these people responsible, I definitely go take and say one, the most senior people and for do that will be you in opposition and the most senior and biggest political party. Yes, the people that can complain and grumble, but you will have to do your own work. But you don't seem to have been doing this, and you seem for one pass the blame, say nobody know they ask. When you say nobody, what exactly you mean, sir?
Yeah, why I say nobody's asking. Most Sierra Leoneans, they not actually care about the wrongs the way they happen at the country. Most Sierra Leoneans, yeah. You know, putting government on its toes not only means saying that we the opposition for doing. We the do effectively and efficiently. That is why every other week I'm on air to challenge government on their excesses. That is why every other week APC representatives all over the place they on air for challenge government on the excesses. We do challenge government, but we have a civil society. We get civil society in this country. We get the media. We've been put APC on in toes. We tell God thank you for the new media, like this social media, because now they bring the right information to the people and make people become aware about what they for be aware of. But most other people that are expected to be watchdogs to government, no, they don't. It was interesting for no say even the day wey SLPP 4 years na this country, AYB wey na a widening listening program where they go globally, e go off, 98.1 go off. Then the other day we see the presidential spokesman and press secretary in one grain on air all over the place. The media is being compromised. Traditional media is being compromised. Civil society is being compromised. We as opposition go shout, we go do everything we go do, but some people go take and say na politics na we not to them daily na make. We need other voices for add to the opposition. That is what I'm saying. We need other people to ask similar questions. We need a strong media. We need a strong civil society for able to put government on the toes. We do we own. But nobody's asking the question. I mean, it is not just about the APC or the NGC. It is about the collective voice of every Sierra Leonean. Let we know. It is not the fact say this is my party, I don't care as long as my party day, but where you stand for benefit as a Sierra Leonean. Waiting will be the fate of the economy. Waiting will be the fate of your basic needs as a Sierra Leonean. These are the questions we must be asking.
So, but Mr. Minkailu, while all of this is true, in terms of which they say that everybody has got a shared responsibility, including the political party and the people, but sometimes the people and the political party are one. And then you wield enough power, especially on parliamentary level, because before the ruling party, you've been in governance before. Before the ruling party, they pass certain things. There are processes and years which the government will have to adhere to, especially when it comes to this monetary business. They not just do I believe in a cowboy way. It has to come from somewhere, maybe cabinet discuss them, and then down to parliament before it become, you're legally minded for let them put them out there. If I'm wrong, correct me, but is that not a process? And if there is, how they arrive if you not support? Minkailu, you hear me, sir? Minkailu, you hear me, sir? Hello? Okay, we don't lost you. We don't lost you again. You know they hear me. Yeah. So you will therefore come out and come in again. Unfortunately, we've lost our guest again, but it's not a problem. We will try to solve this. These are the technical issues where we can get. Today, Fambule, I want to remind you when I say we get Honorable Alfred Minkailu Payamba Koroma. They're on the program with we, and we talk about serious issues affecting the state. What we need for understand Fambule is like we day at a critical juncture. Now we state critical mass. Some people then go call them.
Hello, Prince.
Yeah, if you hear, okay, I hear you now. Good. Yeah.
Yeah, we are start.
Yeah,
I
go on.
make it abundantly clear. Say we get a rubber stamp parliament. Yeah.
Good. That's where I was arriving at. Yeah.
Parliament where the government of the day can just take policies, then can take acts, then just pass a normal at the your will, how they want to do one. When they started, because they know say APC get majority in a parliament, waiting and do, they impose a speaker on parliament. And for most of the things they waiting for debate, if you not get the approval of the speaker, they will not be debated.
Yeah.
For more SLPP can no one they debate audit reports. Now I make when they reprimand Lara Taylor Piazza in deputy, where they even set them aside and set up a tribunal for investigate them. I mean, you will ask yourself the question how the hunter don't become the hunted. And that is the question one may want to ask him or herself. We no one day sit down there. SLPP member of parliament, when Honorable Ibrahim Tawa Conte, one time be challenge the speaker, say them for debate the audit report. They not do one. We all right, Honorable Assam Priest, when at the whip for the opposition, he challenged the speaker, say, them for debate audit report, they're not debater. And then be removed 10 of the members of parliament, just so that when it comes to voting on certain things the way for happen, or certain things the way then go on past the parliament, we not go get the majority, forget the day, or carry the day. Now I make us start off by saying we get a rubber stamp parliament. So I'm not going to share the blame too much on them. The opposition, they try. The APC, the NGC, the C4C, then they try. But the SLPP really they impose itself at any given opportunity for get away with most of the things the way they want to do. So that is the problem we are confronted with here in Sierra Leone.
Thank you, Mr. Koroma. For outlining that and bringing them to the people because they may absolutely need for understand them, because even myself when they asked the question got a little bit confused, because it seems like there's an expectation of you or the side where you belong that certainly you need the help of the people. But we be the local like say, when are you not the most powerful because you get parliament and what have you, but you don't lay the case waste as to parliament being a rubber stamp parliament and everything is being enforced, which is illegal, and we will get for ask that question there later. So we get also issues of the GST. Like we say, many things happen, and one of the things then where you mentioned from the beginning of this program, now the GST. So we know say under your government, that was enacted back in 2009 when we have
Yes.
been in a government. You there hear me, sir?
And they get you loud and clear.
Okay,
The
no
GST was
worries.
introduced in 2009. I agree.
Yes, and effected or put into place back in 2010 when you were still in governance.
I agree.
Okay, but during that period, there was a threshold of $50,000, I believe, for businessman them. So any trader where they do a turnover over $50,000, now in that GST they will be affected by. But if you turn over 50,000 down or less than 50,000, you will not be affected. The point why they try for make Mr. Koroma is all of this seem for change again. This is not the pattern way they try for talk about. All of this tend for change again back in 2021, where una don't come on a governance in which this bill was introduced into, if I can quote you, a rubber stamp parliament. We also pass them, but then it get a different meaning this time. We say that even when people and they make 50 million leons, which was the equivalent then of $50,000, then still get for pay tax. And then the balance or the threshold don't change because of conversion rate. The dollar and the pound is no more at par or the same as with the leons when the law was made. And when they enact this one in 2021, they're not effect then changes then they. And so therefore we see something major will happen, will look like a cultural shift. And that's how they try for bring to you. Businesses in Sierra Leone closed down their shops, and this is something that you're aware of. You want to speak to that? Was this something that you guys were part of, or una sit down, una look and say, well, this is fair game because it not being right for the people then? Which part una play on all of this? Because there's so much blame on una for everything where they happen.
Yeah. The APC as a party, we know they against taxation because more often than not, governments around the world rely on taxation for able get money for pay wages and salaries and for run the country. We also believe say you get other sources of revenue where you will get for also do that day. But the taxation not for be overburden on the people. When
Yeah,
we introduce GST, we do it in good faith. And I want to tell you, say during the term, GST will even account for about 27% of the total budget cost. Now that will be from GST will be the get that money there for fund the budget. Yeah.
yeah,
And when we introduce GST, we do it in such a way that businessmen and not be here as a burden. Like how you don't lay the fact bare. We also do it in the sense that people that really know say the taxation system at that time be very reasonable and it meets the cost away from it. Will not be the double tax to people there. Now, you will not say the first point of taxation now customs. Now at a key, for example, where you goods there, you import goods into the country, where they reach there, they tax you exorbitantly. Businessmen and go feel say because they don't tax there, they don't clear all their goods, including the GST, whatever it is, they're not for put burden on there again. Because outside GST, you get other tax there where you also they pay. You for no say you get the if you get shop now free ton, the council get for tax you because you they operate within the city. If you get property with the rent, they get for tax you. You get a lot of other taxes aside the GST. So when they come back, you pay GST as an importer, you pay GST as a retailer, you pay GST as a final consumer. When all of that is being put together, now the prices of the commodity they become very dear, very expensive. We make the shop owners then where them even decide for go put machine now some of the shop then say well now whatever goods they sell 15% of what they make from that day they go to government 15% of that sales day they go to government. You be understand say shop then strike now for about 2 days.
yeah,
Government promise them say dem go sit down renegotiate and readjust the tax, dem encourage them for continue, but 30 days dem no do am. So wetin dem sef do as business people, dem increase the prices of commodity, that if government dey tax we no go loss, but we go add the price per anything wey we dey sell. You dey see say rice from 500, most of the bags of rice don go up to 700,000 now.
Wow.
Basic butter, Golden Gate, for example, maybe they buy 10,000 units. Now you don't go to something like 13, 14,000 units. Sugar will not be 4,000 for cup. Now you don't go to 6,000. So the final consumer and they bear the burden of that taxation day. Even oil, palm oil, pepper, everything don't there in the market. So you see the hardship, you know. Now they face a situation in which the people that they witness painful hardship in this country, that the money where they earn per day, they even able to sustain them well. But good things they happen at this country where the people accept they sleep, wake, and pray that to get change of government. Now we also assess within the other government they can do for we. So that is it. If the government want cushion this burden, therefore look into and critically and try for renegotiate so that they go ease the burden on the final consumer.
Yes, that is good, but better said outside of governance than inside governance. But you make quite a good case there, sir. And on top of this social problem, they talk about hardship, high youth unemployment. There's a host of issues that we can lay waste. But the government will equally say, you as an opposition, you've not been cooperative at all. Is there some animosity or animus between you and the government that to a point, you make overtures from the beginning, and at this point in time, you look at like say, this is apparently not going to work because there's an intention on the part of government sidelining us, putting us under pressure, intimidation, coercion, and etc. And what's your position on this anyway? Where government make their accusation and they, because there's a lot of it say they help them at all. You just been not constructive and you cannot destructive. What would you say to that, sir?
Yeah, so far we've been a constructive opposition. Me in particular, don't provide a lot of solutions to problems where governments don't put into action. Where I know. They no need for tell me say now because Minkailu been talk this na AYV or talk on 98.1 or talk on a media junction make good one, but I don't see a lot of things who don't talk where they don't put into action. Now, I mean, everybody can make the claim say better said in opposition than in governance. But where we can, let's say 2007 to 2012, 2012 to 2018, where we come, we inherit an abysmal education sector where only 3% of the total budget will be spent on education. Where we can, we increase am to 15%, from 3% to 15%, because we don't tell the people and say we sabi how for do that day when we can. We'll not just be the same in opposition. We'll say, oh, come, we'll go ensure say we get a bigger economy. And we make sure say we meet the country economy at a state will increase significantly. And now I will just refer you to the handing over notes of President Koroma. Where be they hand over the country to President Bio during inaugural ceremony on the 12th of May 2018. Where you take a look at
Okay.
President Koroma.
Yeah, go on with the you now. Yeah, go on. Okay, I think we lost them again. Yeah, you want to carry on? Okay, there's an audio problem. We know they hear you. We know they hear you. So again, Fambulem, this interview is a brilliant interview in many respects because it's kind of telling and revealing. Forgive us for the little bit of technical errors. You can understand the timeline, the disparity, the efforts done on the other side, the efforts on the own side. But definitely we will try for bring the program to Una and make sure say while we get Minkailu Koroma on the program, that he say as much as he can say about the party, the All People's Congress, the position within they in, and so forth and so on. So just a quick reminder, Fambulem, tonight we're having a discussion with the publicity man at the All People's Congress, who is none other but Minkailu Koroma, and we get many, many more questions for us. But in time, we're having a little bit of technical issues. But as soon as then technical issues then they done, definitely we will go on to the brother again. So tonight, this is what the program is. It's been streamed live on Facebook. It's been streamed live on Facebook and YouTube. So if you're not able to watch them on YouTube, you can watch it on Facebook. And on Facebook, you can watch it on YouTube if you can't. So I dey ask again, Fambul and Diana, let we share, let we get people and for listen to this thing. You don't necessarily have to be All People's Congress or anti-SLPP or anti-APC. The issue here is we are having a national conversation, and with none other than people and we jam into the conversation. And this is what we are having here. We will continue for talk about them. So there are many things we want to talk about. But remember again this week, I just brief una Supermed will be absent for the next 3 weeks. But in place, of course, I will be there, which is his program on every Saturday called Inside Salon Today. So I will be filling in that gap. We had an issue on yesterday where we'll be supposed to hold this interview, which was well advertised. So people have been taken by surprise. People have been taken by surprise that the interview is being held today and the information was not put out there for massively inform the people, and so that will have generated so much interest. Because on Saturday, where we advertised the program about 3 days before Saturday, yesterday, there was so much interest. But we can understand because subsequently there are thousands of others who are going to watch it, and there are many other programs ongoing. But just for reminder, tonight we have Mr. Minkailu Koroma. We, like I say, and I'm not mincing my words, when he speaks, people listen. Because why? The side whose side they come off from is very relevant, is very germane to the conversation that we are having between now, going forward, and the future. So again, we have and we want to say thank you and una forgive we for the technical difficulties. Payamba, you been say something, but then we lost your audio.
Yes,
You just
yes.
want you the benefit for let you
Yeah,
continue right there.
better said in opposition than in governance.
That's
Let,
correct.
yeah. I say for we all the opposition, most of the things they say, when we come, we put them into practice. We not just the say. We not to let the SLPP government, where they promise a lot of things and where they can enable do. We promise
But
we
I will go for interject there. I think part of what you they say is has some relevance and some truth to it. But then in the end, Payamba, is you were voted out of office. So if you were getting things right, just like what you they say so, how come you were voted out of office?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I've been they say something.
Okay.
More often, a lot of this can happen. Not just unique to Sierra Leone. Naturally, people like want a change of government because they can think say they give them the best. When another political party presents a manifesto, then if you say all what's in the manifesto, then go just realize that overnight. I think when they meet on the presidential debates, one party presidential aspirant them say they were they don't know what they talk. Mean say all what if you know it in a government, go think say all what they talk so you go just kind of overnight.
Yeah.
When I be Dr. Samura Kamara, when I the APC presidential aspirant at that time. Now they say we will not just say I'm in opposition the way we come in government, will not do one. We come, we meet government be they spend 3% of in budget per education. Where we can we increase them to 15%. We not been promised the people in free education, no. But we almost gone free education at this country because during the time, gal picking and at the sciences not been they pay
Yeah.
university fees. If
Yeah.
you did engineering, you did medicine, you did biological sciences, like chemistry, you did do all that thing there. When at the sciences, pure and applied science, you not been they pay fees at all at university. We also be they pay exams fee, public exams, we be they pay fee for beginning. At Becker, at WAS level, we they pay them money then they. We also be the give granting aid. So the one that will not be the afford for get money for pay university fees. When they apply, assess the situation. The one that we will see say really government need for intervene, will be the intervene. Now, when President Koroma be the hand over to President Bio on the 12th of May 2018, under the education category, he tell her, he say, Your Excellency, in view of the need to develop our country's human resource, my government took education as a priority. so much so that budget allocation to the sector has increased from the low levels of 3.7% when I inherited, which I inherited in 2007, to now over 15% by 2017. We took deliberate actions to expand access to education at all levels. For higher education, we have ensured the establishment of 3 additional universities, including Lincoln University of Creative Technology, which is the first ever public-private partnership. He tell President Biodande. He also go ahead for tell and say, at the same time, we have secured funding from ECOWAS for the establishment of a brand new university in Kono, which is now on the way. SLPP can lie by the people and say they don't count university them for them at Kono. When an APC now secure the funding, APC now in projects than they. I be listening to the ECOWAS speaker or the speaker of ECOWAS Parliament, Mohamed Sidi Tunis, Honorable Mohamed Sidi Tunis, where they make a lot of noise about that. That under his leadership, he don't secure funds for the construction of a certain university in Akono. But I wanted the world know, let's see Leoneans and no say, now APC be secure that fund, not to the SLPP government be secure that fund at all. Then now SLPP be also they blame the APC say, I mean, they inherit an economy where actually very deplorable. But again, when President Koroma be hand over to President Bio, he also tell you the state of the economy, how he left am. Then come, then do a GTT report, say we run a racketeering criminal enterprise or racketeering and criminal enterprise. Then talk a lot of things that we know to so it be. Then say we run a civil society where we employ people learn from the Timne and the Limba ethnic groups, Northerners, which is very wrong. That is not building cohesion, even them promising a manifesto say that they build cohesion. Not a cohesion, not need them build. But rather, them preach tribalism and regionalism, we're very wrong. Under the economy, President Ernest Koroma tell President Bill say, my government unprecedented development strides are reflected in Sierra Leone now having a much bigger economy than when I took over in 2007. They say back then, the monetary value of Sierra Leone's economy and businesses activities can be estimated at 5 trillion leones. By 2017, this is now estimated at 30 trillion leones, from 5 trillion leones to 30. Remember, we had 25 trillion when are only 5 trillion, at that time. In 2007, the annual revenue generated within Sierra Leone was 5 billion leones, 5 billion leones. Today, it is 4 trillion. From 5 billion leones, we count out to 4 trillion, 4 billion leones. Now, so we left out. Now, this country, foreign direct investment has grown tremendously from 288 million leones to 5 trillion, 5 billion leones. We have also increased our international reserves from dollar equivalent of less than 600 billion leones to the current amount, which is the dollar equivalent of 4 trillion 400 million leones. So
Yeah,
then
Minkailu,
they all go on at this
that's
country.
a
So where SLPP ready, they lie by the people and say APC, we actually left an abysmal economy,
yeah, but this is what I want
a
to ask.
shattered economy,
This is
because they
what I
know they
want to
tell the
ask,
true story. It is
Minkailu. This
our
is what I want to
responsibility
ask.
now. 1 year into elections, we are going to start educating the people how left the economy, how left agriculture, how left education, the health sector. Now, here in this country, we see doctors and strike not too long ago. In fact, it started with junior staff, cleaners then. They say they know they pay their salary. And SLPP promised that they manifest to say that they can't improve the health sector. Basic salary for pay cleaners then at the hospital, they know they pay them. Just imagine, you go to hospital, doctors and they jump maggots then for go treat them patient then. For even get IV line, for end drip, available at the hospital. Then they
So why
cross
you
go to
decide
nearby
for wait?
pharmacies for go get them now this
Why you
country.
decide for wait 4 years on before you dey
Say
decide
again, say
for
again.
why you decide or una decide for wait 4 years on before una they respond to these many
Yeah,
character
yes,
assassinations.
like I tell you, we be done the doing at a low key. At times, you go write proposal, you send out through parliament, you get representatives in a parliament. When then see how they go the budget or policies of government, then go debate the states waiting at the opposition in your own position. Yeah, we don't dey make opposition known diplomatically. We don't dey make am known without sabotaging government. We no want hit on government, let government not think say we dey disturb them for do their work. We give them the leverage, we will dey pass positions and through we opposition representatives in our parliament. We get leadership in our parliament. Whenever a policy go there, way budget go there, way or the whatever go there, we dey make with position through we representatives in our parliament. But at least it don't reach a peak now because we get a rubber stamp parliament. Now we they come out for tell the people and the facts. And this is what we are going to continue doing until we go into elections. We get for set the record straight. The people and need for know and as by Kroma left this country, they need for know how Mother Biodo inherit time from 2018 to date so that they go there in a better position for make a sound judgment when it comes to voting. That is what we are going to do.
About and it seemed like understand you well. There's plenty of confidence in parliamentarians. But I want to ask you why you did life. How much confidence do you have in parliamentarians? Because from reports the way the institution trying to stabilize interest compromising people's interest. What's your take on
Say again, the network look poor, not getting you clear.
that? You hear me, sir?
Yeah, hello?
You dey-
Yeah, they get you now.
you dey-
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so what they say you about the issue the way you address just now, you talk about parliament, your parliamentarians in good faith. But my question why they ask is you talk about in good faith. There's been many questions about them, sir, in which they are not being really faithful. In other words, if they are, it's about themselves first, party, and then the people last. And it's the people that we send them there, although not party give them symbol. And there are many people that are asking for let them revoke that process day. My question to you, in terms of all of what on they happen, how satisfied are you with your parliamentarians, your honorables?
Yeah, you see, that is not the reason why in the APC now it is election all through and through. I will not be in the position to assess the MPs. The MPs are elected by their constituents. Yeah, that is why some of we will lead the reformation at the party and talk say symbols should not be awarded to people based on sentiments. They must be
Mr.
awarded
Koroma,
by
you
merit.
are known to be a brave man, you are known to be a brave man, very outspoken. You're not known for sitting on the fence. Are you now having, some second thoughts on criticizing your
No,
MP to the
I
left
am
today?
just being very diplomatic, and I think I have to be very responsible in making my submissions too. And now,
Understood.
me not go responsible for somebody in common one at parliament because every parliamentarian get a constituent we belong to. What do we do now for set the stage? Make sure say nobody is going to be selected going forward. If you go to parliament, you people assess you say now the responsibility for vote you out, starting from party level, even for our symbol. Now it constituent and get for make that decision. Not to the party leadership they go select you any longer. Registered and card carried members of a particular constituency now all the 132 constituencies now they get for vote for the representatives. When they vote for you, the party go award you the symbol, you will win. Then where you go now, then go vote for you at national level for represent the people there. I have made a fair comment regarding parliament. So that other aspect of the assessment, either them perform or not perform, they serve the interest of the people and not serve, then put the interest of the people and first or their own first. It is left to the constituents that elected them to so decide.
All right. Many thanks for that. Ladies and gentlemen, you're being up to speed. Talking to none other but Mr. Alfred Minkailu Koroma, a very powerful man belonging to the most powerful of the country. He speaks. Sierra Leoneans for listening to leadership was facing, because in is made future now and the future of the government and the country as a whole. Minkailu, I want to take you on to the midterms. So, ask me a question on the midterms. What's your perspective? What you sense in the midterm census?
Yeah, yeah. Say again, please.
I want to take you to the midterm census. I got one or two questions to ask, but before I move to that direction, I'm going to shape the outcome of the question. So you're very much familiar with the midterm census. Your political party that you belong to oppose are just online television. What's your perspective about the midterm census?
Yeah, we position remain the same. The midterm census was not properly conducted. I mean, it not meet the threshold as best practice. The EU be don't tell us saying they not go rely on that day for the bond delimitation. The cooperation of the people be very low. I was not counted, and the entire household to which I belong was never counted. I get a good number of Sierra Leoneans that will go also attest to the fact that they were never counted. And so this is a census that we will not approve as a party, and so shall it remain. It is left to government to have a second thought. That is why we get valid data then. We don't conduct census 2014-15 at this country. Then data then they still there. It is the responsibility of government to continue using those data until we get a proper census conducted before ever then go think about utilizing them. This government must not rely on a certain census where World Bank boycotts, on a certain census where EU boycotts, on a certain census where the major opposition parties and boycott now this country for say they go use her for determine waiting go be the data for boundary delimitation or whatever thing they go and do. The census, ab initial na error, and I think the government not for even attempt for think about using it.
But let's assume theoretically that government is planning to use it. What would you do?
We'll reach that bridge there with the cause am, but as such say government no go use am.
Mikhail, let me probe a little bit more, because from information we me the get, sir, the government is definitely planning on using whatever
Hello, are you getting me?
they
Yeah, they got not in all the way this government on the plan. The government,
exactly.
Rome
So
of
now
say
see,
that the
so
plan say
instead of
election
talking
at 2004, 2024. It ever happen? Nah. Government they plan a lot of things dubiously, but
okay,
when it comes to actualizing the dubious plans, as long as in the best interest of the people, they not go get opposition support, they not go get development partners or international community support. I think say all players then were important in this, then go actually advise government for the voting rights, like how they know they advise government so now. They were planning to have, there was a rumor that government is planning to have elections in 2024. We get loyalists and operatives, senior operatives of the SLPP, they make them comments then they. But in the end, I mean, now waiting appropriate, waiting legal, waiting in the best interest of country, now will end up for do. I think the government will get a rethink and then go do it in the best interest of country.
Mr. Koroma, in terms of what you just say regarding the date for elections, which is supposed to be set in goal, what you mean, a day inside the constitution, like most, but this one is supposed to be so sacred that yes, people and try to play it, and but now people are waiting on the fringes. Yeah, you been get so people have been or election 2021 have you. But from what you really understand from the outside, is because pressure was brought to bear the presidency. All them meeting the way them in they go hold with the president, the partners, them, the leader for youth party, will be the upset a lot. Why didn't you don't figure out in a because man because of the community, that's why the government budged. In other words, they only sort out, if not be power, in the president will see how they pass things in a parliament. Will you agree with that? Minkailu?
Yeah, I agree. I don't get you clear, but I know the government don't impose itself to a very large extent. Now Parliament, we see where they impose the speaker, we see where they pass certain things, and
Yes.
we see how even the
And all
table
that's the
the
point that they
proclamation for
try to make
census. We see.
exactly.
Hello,
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
hello.
Now the points now they were they try to make.
Yeah,
You
we
hear
see the
me?
proclamation for census. We see Parliament go sit who side not supposed for sit there, although they say that I mean then he called Parliament, President he even go na bump or thing he say he get the right for saying I have Parliament go sit down. We see them gonna be into money. We see them pets. We see opposition then claim say he chaired the president in proclamation. We see all of that. In the end, with all what happen, then go ahead and conduct the census on their own. We see EU boycott, we see World Bank boycott, opposition boycott. They say we know the listen, nothing. Will they go ahead? Then go ahead. But in the end, they're not able to get the required results. We're credible. Because it has
Yeah,
to do with credibility.
yeah.
Opposition boycotts, EU boycotts, World Bank boycotts. Nobody no go think saying a credible, census result then go produce in the end. So I think the government can't use it anyway.
Thank you very much for that. Salon people, let me, if you are listening tonight, we did talk to Alfred Minkailu Payamba Koroma. There are many questions that we want for ask tonight. Before we come to the real gist of what this interview supposed to be about, is about the way forward for the All People's Congress regarding court case and elections and you name it. But we will come to that. But we want for, and so far, the brother has been addressing a lot of issues. I want to let you talk about, of course, PPRC, sir. PPRC, an organization where you're very, I mean, an institution where you're very much familiar with. They have been in the limelight for many negative reasons and for good reasons as well, if we can add to that. But the negatives have been many, especially from the side of the opposition. And they talk about the PPRC, Minkailu. The negatives have been many regarding the PPRC. They've not been kind of friendly towards the All People's Congress or opposition party. And in fact, we understand say there's a parallel PPRC and people are where inside they act in favor, especially Zainab Mosiri, who has moved on now. Recently, with the Yeribo, a draft bill for empower the PPRC chair for deregister political party them. Before I ask the question further, is this something that you're familiar with? You don't hear the same thing from you, Endusa
Yeah,
Yinde?
I am very familiar with the PPRC. I have had the privilege of, even when I left university, I had the privilege of even working with the commission at some point. Yeah, because that is my interest. You know, it was established by an act of parliament in 2002 to regulate the conduct of political parties. Yeah, then
Absolutely.
the mediate, when approached, they not get the power for sanction political parties. Them powers are very limited. But good things they will not go able to do. And as such, they don't they make the proposal say they're not gonna be a toothless bulldog. They want to get some powers where they go able to bite. I think say they don't they meet on several occasions with the UNDP and some other institutions that way they promote democracy and good governance. The oppositions they don't engage with the oppositions very seriously. Well, I cannot say the PPRC is a bad institution because me now a firm believer, a fervent believer of democratic institutions. Me know say the only thing where they make a country thrive, that way you get strong institutions. A country for be built around the democratic institutions, not to individuals.
Yeah.
Because we the individuals they come and go, government they come and go, but then institutions they are they remain. So if we they promote the institutions in good faith, empower them in good faith, we not to for just can muscle opposition, stifle opposition, and promote government of the day, then it is good. But if now for can stifle opposition and don't support government of the day, then it is very wrong. So me not get problem with empowering the PPRC or any other electoral management body as long as it is in the best interest of country, it fine. Yes, the APC don't get interaction with the PPRC, and some of we always don't in the thick and thin of her. You know, we understand say even we'll go get the convention for adopt to constitution, PPRC plays supervisory role, and they were very cooperative. Even when they set up the 21-man committee, which I was part of, for conduct the elections for all delegates and organize the convention for adopt the constitution, We held series of meetings with PPRC. Even we will put together the agenda, the approval. We do a lot of things together, and it come out fine. Before they adopt to constitution, it is established by law that after we go adopt it, they go to PPRC, objections then go come, then go give feedback. Then from there we go back and forth. But in the end, we get our rights. We now have a modern day and democratic constitution, which is in the best interest of the party and all the one that we want to aspire for being members of the All People's Congress Party. So it is not a bad institution. Empowering it is not bad, but it has to be in the best interest of country, rather than promoting the incumbent.
Many, many thanks for that. Let's just acknowledge some people. Of course, there's not much in the chat room because this interview was not much publicized. But like I say again, I have no doubts that thousands will watch this. But I want to say this. In this month of April, between this is March, April, the 15th to today, the 10th, we've had 35,000 viewers. That's not very much by social media circles in terms of many platform them. So 35,000 viewers them just in this month alone. But then we subscription rate is just under 500. That's not acceptable. We they ask people subscribe to the platform. It doesn't cost you anything. It's not a monetary value. So please like, dislike, comment, and etc. Use the emoticons. Today we did talk to Pa Yamba Koroma Minkailu. And I'll say I want to greet few people them. This is Mohammed Toure. Greetings from the land down. Under to you, my brother Prince, and the unshakable and most pragmatic and realist, no nonsense Minks. Okay, I think that are the guests they refer to. Fatima Conte. Thank you, my brother Minkailu. Okay. Momo Kamara. Hello, Mr. Minkailu. Can you please tell Sierra Leoneans the problem? Let's just repeat them for you. Can you please tell Sierra Leoneans the problems that APC solved within their 11 years in governance that Sierra Leonean won't complain about again? I think he addressed that from the opening of the program, but maybe you could touch on that again. If you know Yehila, repeat it again. Somebody they ask Mr. Momo Kamara, he tell you hello and ask you, can you please tell Sierra Leoneans the problem that APC solved within their 11 years in governance that Sierra Leonean won't complain about again? This is not something where I believe say you addressed from the beginning of the program, but maybe you go touch on them again. Trevor Packard, they not get mind. This platform is pro APC. Just check over the years. Majority of their guests are APCs. They feel say we don't know. Trevor, of course, Trevor Fambulen for Una we don't know is a good friend. We talk, we meet, I know him personally. You got to stop making, these outlandish statements which bears no truth in them. Simply because lately you've heard, because you are a huge subscriber to the Then and Now, you haven't done your due diligence, and I've challenged you many a times. We've got over 400 videos on YouTube. You need to visit them. I've sent you the link, but you're not interested in them. You're interested in making political statements, and this doesn't wash. Okay? And know you are a strong supporter of the SLPP. And I could do the same thing. You're looking for job. So looking for job this time means that you have to be opposing us. But opposing us, there have been many before you. They haven't succeeded because what we say here is the truth. What is it that we are saying that you don't agree with other than making these outlandish statements? The platform is open to everyone. There have been few SLPP people that have been here, very few, but it's open any day, including yourself. If you want to come, please feel free to come, my brother. It's open to you. Thank you very much. Tonight, Fambulem, we did with Minkailu Koroma, and we did talk about real issues them, where they affect Sierra Leoneans them. In real time, we just cover PPRC just now, and I want to move on to something else, okay? Minkailu, earlier on, I know say you touch on the president say he don't accomplish almost all of his manifesto promises. I know say you touch on them and you disagree. But as a matter of the procedure we they follow, I wonder whether you can touch on that again and how you find them that the president of the republic can say they don't fulfill only manifesto promises. And you say you also get the manifesto copy, SLPP manifesto copy with you. Can you touch on that again, just briefly, please?
Yes, Like how they talk, and one thing with them promise we, they say uninterrupted electricity. Now light don't go so. Now light are the fence so that at least this interview will continue.
Oh
Light
my
just go. They make a lot of promises. Even recently, the president go talk say na parliament, the last state opening of parliament. What he talk? You see, light don't go. So now this na Chinese light. They say I doesn't put this for law we manage and complete the interview.
thank you very much. Yeah.
Yeah. The president say we now enjoy uninterrupted electricity in Freetown. Now, so it provoked Freetonians then. We, as I speak, so now blackout are they into. So now, they make a lot of promises we they're not able to fulfill at all. Yeah, I don't think you say the manifesto divided into 5 parts. Firstly, under the economy, they say then they improved macro economy. I don't tell you how deplorable the economy they. When
Yeah.
they're not even able to support them budget. Every other Thursday, then they borrow from banks. You see how the dollar they skyrockets, how it don't humble the loans. All land the government no able address her. They say then they develop the private sector. We get an abysmal private sector. We not expect government for employ everybody, but when you improve the private sector, you go able to employ a lot of other people then. Now, just then days we get Jala, Fobe College, IPAM, and other colleges and students and graduates with various qualifications, masters, bachelor's degrees, a lot of qualifications. But the environment not ready for even absorb or employ them because the private sector is seriously being challenged. They're not able to address that. They then promise and they manifesto. They also tell you say then they develop the agriculture sector. Now you see one bag raise don't go up to 700,000 units.
Wow.
Basic PR. Then go tell you say if you want PR, now 20,000, 15,000 for one PR. When I think the whole the corona saloya, if you want orange, mango, all anything and they then there. Yeah. Now then they say then promise you tomabom. Waiting are the returns. Then tell we say time there for which we will not even import rest in this country. Now we don't rest what they grow, now they eat. The president be in a farm, he show picture the former chief minister and information minister. Most of them been going at the farms and they say that they go make farm. Now policy say anybody with government, with president be appointed for make farm. But they waiting at the returns. All that in a facade, now pretense. Then just be one fool the people then for make them believe saying a sober government, but they're not sober at all. We don't see anything in the whole of this country. Then lie to the people of this country. Then say then they can improve the management of oil and gas exploration. We not ever touch down this. We not even go near than they say then go improve develop tourism. Sierra Leone not belong to a lot of tourist organizations around the world. Because if we belong there, then go recommend Sierra Leone to tourists then and we go get an influx of tourists coming here. Go around the beaches, no improvement not take place. It other touristic centers and no better improvement. They not do nothing absolutely regarding that. The manufacturing, they say develop the manufacturing sector, then go developer. We know they manufacture nothing. Paste when I paste, toothpaste, toothbrush, toothpick, even tissue paper, and import to the import, all of them thing. Then be lie say that they can't build factories and they can't industries. No one know they. Even the Huawei president go commission say Tapalapa bakery and the big building. Now first Monday so at times if they come on at least for seed grade self when a Sunday, the seed grade for buy. He say they bring Tapalapa bakery. No, none of that no happen. They say
Minkailu.
that they improve the education sector. A lot. Or you
Yeah,
are of God, yeah.
Minkailu, sorry for budging there because I mean, the way how you talk about the Tapalapa factory, it sounds like the most basic of the promises made,
Of
but yet
course.
still, it's not been fulfilled. I mean, tell me exactly the mindset of these people the way they make the promises, and as then they
Yeah,
in
well,
government and still they patrol up and down for
then
tell
say,
people that
well, now they have a mindset that they can make whatever promises, the people will not hold them accountable. Now that they think. Waiting JJ Safar not been talking about addressing bread and butter. Yeah, when them be the opposition, it was all over the place. The former minister of finance, now chief minister. He failed woefully, we failed and get award as the best minister and then promote him to chief minister. The tell we be minister of finance now witness the worst economy in this country. We be minister of finance now everything go up at a skyrocket price. Rest go up, might go up, basic commodities then go up. Then still promote him to chief minister. So then for let them make promises, they not say nothing. Promises the way they not they fulfill. When Ernest Koroma was running for president, he said, where he can, he go introduce the free healthcare for lactating mothers, pregnant women, children under 5, it will. And we see significant improvement in infant and maternal mortality rates.
So
They
how we
say
people
at the
in the
base
survive? How we
electricity.
people in the survive, Minkailu, with the picture where you just paint, and not only you, we all get fambulen back home, and we talk on a daily basis. You get party that will not be they ask you before, you're out of pride, dignity, and respect, but now there's no way then they ask. How are you there on the ground? How people in they survive? Because you give you a list just almost per mind cost, almost per cost, and I mean watch somebody will do a video earlier on social media. And then if you don't have a job because there's a high unemployment rate, especially among youths and people in the hinterland, how are people basically coping?
Yeah, life is very unbearable for the ordinary Sierra Leonean. People they actually witness excruciating hardship, yeah, painful hardship in this country. We for actually get a daily bread being a problem. Welfare is nothing to write home about as far as SLPP concerned. In fact, they care less about it. They don't even want to know. For say, some countries and the way hardship don't do on people, and then they devise mechanism. What we go do? Law cut down on taxation, electricity rates, law reduce them. In fact, at times they can give packages to homes for just cushioning the situation for the same here in Sierra Leone. Yeah, it is not the same here in Sierra Leone. Uh, so I will talk
Okay,
about them promises there. The hardship is too much. If
okay.
I say how they talk about how people and they suffer, I think we're not going to conclude this
We're not
interview.
going to conclude.
But they
Okay,
also
on that
promise
basis, the
improving
that,
the education sector. Yeah.
yeah.
Now, waiting on the pride themselves in now free quality education. But I go tell you authoritatively say for the past 2 times they not even supply basic school register. Where we they go school in this country, not ever be even when not to be free quality education for like register not in a school.
Wow.
That register within the record student the name or people's the name.
Oh, yeah,
Where you go
absolutely.
then call
Every day
you
we go to school,
Minkailu
present
Koroma, you
and
answer
absent,
present, they
and
mark you present. If you
yeah.
not get that this, you not get that register there, how you go even take stock of the student that will register at the school? When you record down it,
So
where you
that
go
means
say
the
I want to see
statistics
all the
is fake.
JSS
The
one
data is
register, then
fake.
give you. Then you dey compare the information where the school gives saying and then number of kids they I get. You can't see the school register, you able make an assessment,
Yeah.
if they not just the increased number for subsidy, if not the right number, then they give you. They not supply log books then. They not supply chalks now some schools then. Subsidies they not give. So
So it
waiting at
sound
this free quality education.
so it sound
When
much more
students
like
in the
the
right
census.
NPSE or CITBECA for gain admission into another level of the school system, then parents in the spend not less than 2-3 million for get them admitted. Then go buy uniform, then go buy books, then go buy badge, tie, as the case may be. Even government and government assisted schools. I am not talking about the private schools. All lengthing and they is very deplorable. Then promise a lot of things when they're not able to actually do for the people. And it is completely wrong, you know. Now they also talk about youth and women's empowerment, but they see within the youthful population they go through very unemployed youth now this country. Women and they go through a whole lot. We don't propose now we constitution. It is a law now. Law not even say proposal, it is a law that when we come into governance,
Mikhailo,
30% of appointments will be given to women, or in fact shall be given to
okay,
women. Yeah. In
Mikhailo,
terms of
we get
appointment at every level, 30% are women they will get for give. I see
good.
themselves actually want try for promote something regarding that. A certain bill they now in a parliament, they go through the class stages for let it become an act of parliament. To which then they happen because we don't set a place within our constitution as a political party now. They say that they protect persons living with disability, yeah, and children. Now, still, when you watch at the street, you look at the street in Freetown and other cities than at the country. Most of the pikin wey they carry them blind parents them for go big. Now pikin wey dey na that age for go school. We say we get free quality education at the country. Waiting government don't do for pull them pikin and then at streets, for build orphanages them, for put them there, take them disabled parents there off the street so that them pikin and go able learn book, they not go become menace to society where them grow to
Yeah,
my bandai.
absolutely, absolutely,
Government is doing
Mikhailo.
nothing regarding that.
So let's just pause you there because you're
Hello,
making
hello.
yes. Are they hear you? You dey hear me?
Wow. I know they get
Come out and come in again. Usual. So okay. Fambulem we dey talk with me, Minkailu Payamba Koroma. Very interesting and very important interview because there's so much being said here. so much being said here about the country, the government, and the way forward. And I get beaucoup question for him. And because of the constraints where it undergo there, like for example, light don't go, and you get for make way with other means just for carry on this interview, not know how long it go last. I need for rush through with this because I get very critical questions them for ask him. I get very critical questions then for ask him, and so therefore I get for rush with this because the constraints don't they are not easy. But he's making quite a good case, and we go like for listen. I know sometimes the people like you say, why did you interrupt? But of course you don't question me because I question the interviewer. I am by the now, sir. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, they get you loud. Yeah.
Okay, good. So I mean, I know the constraints don't get it hard, but I go like for cover a few things quickly before I come to the critical thing where most people in 1 year waiting up inside court, waiting at the Alfred contest situation, waiting at the George Fisher situation, and recently we understand say Adebayo in issue come up now the court in which a judge sound unprecedented. But before something becomes a precedent, is always unprecedented, and this is one of it. And we would like for let you talk about that as well. But I want to cover a few things quickly, so we just did do them quickly. Um, from the beginning of this program, you talk about the press, and you have been very generous in your words, in which you say a better will get alternative press now. If I understood you well, at least word able for come out through Una and the rest of it. Something come up recently in the country in which we hear say payment was being made to press people, especially from the Petroleum Directorate. If you understand me, brother, PRA, then call them. In other words, Petroleum Regulatory Agency. We take money and pay to press people. We're not strange in a sense, sometimes not the method. Bayamba, you hear me?
Yeah, they get you loud and clear.
Okay. Now the method which is used for make the payment and the motive behind the payment. So recently we say a government agency, when at the Petroleum Regulatory Agency, the PRA, pay money to channels them, outlets them, news outlets them who are sympathetic to the Sierra Leone People's Party. I wonder whether una yeri that, and if una yeri that, waiting na una take. Can you comment on that if una hear that?
Yeah, well, I think say I do justice to this discussion. Why I start for tell you say the media, traditional media in Sierra Leone is being compromised. You
Yeah,
know, as
indeed.
a politician, when I voice in society, certain things and they say and diplomatically, more so we not get concrete evidence or substantiate you fact. Yeah, way more than they around. We don't know say this government don't they call media houses then to workshop them. At times when they call them abo, they don't they call them to cocktail parties them. In the end, what's in they discuss behind the scenes or the envelopes the way they pass, and or way they shake hand. Now they want to know, but they don't they call them behind closed doors. Forget cocktail parties, forget waiting they refer to as retreat, for try for compromise. I tell you say, even the time where this government 4 years AYV, they go far and wide, not been get coverage. AYV be they down, 98.1 also be they down. Then the next day, then get the press secretary and presidential spokesman in one green, all over the media. Government not go 4 years, you call no more, policy where they talk for and on behalf of government one. You've also called an opposition or a dissenting voice for let we say we don't do this as a government. You forget possibly for also assess and say yes, not true or yeah, not true. But now in one game be they all over the place, they get a field day. You don't see. So the rumor, not go be it not go dey far from the truth. Yeah. I tell you,
Yeah.
say the media is being compromised, civil society is being compromised. Even the one that would sing in 2012, before 2012 election, we see MNC Lamina, a single musical releasing today, yesterday better pass today. But
No
from the very
Emerson, no Emerson, no you don't mean the politician Emerson Lamina. Let's just
MNC
correct that
Bokari,
for the
sorry,
record.
MNC Bokari.
Emerson
MNC
Bokari, yeah.
Bokari,
Thank
when I
you.
a
Yeah,
revolutionary artist, we but
absolutely, I
people
agree.
that don't go on at this country, we ever sing about since 2018 to date. We don't see even immediately after the election, where they beat people and they rape them, then force them for become displaced persons. internally displaced persons. They run, people that run from Kono, take on Mashimbi, people that run from Kailan, when are APC people and take on a Freetown, some of them they reside now party office. You know, talk nothing about that day. We see where then kill people then at Tonko Limbama 91 and other places. We see where then kill people then at McKinney. We they talk about promoting fundamental human rights, where the first human right now the right to life. Everybody get the right for leave, nobody not get the right for taking company life. We see what happen at Panemba Road. We not see government set up, no inquest, no investigation, nobody was called to book, nobody was arrested. MNC the way beyond the sing revolutionary songs. We see the excruciating hardship in the country. They not even see society also very careless. Most of them then go from say civil society consortium on government delivery for go and parade from one ministry to another, one parastatal to another. For let them go, they go and give them brown envelope for protect and promote government. All of that not correct.
Okay. Okay, Minkailu, many thanks again for that. Again, like I said, we need to make progress quickly because time is fast catching up with this. Part of the
Special phone for interview. Can you send him call?
yeah, let me just hurry with this quickly, Minkailu. I know say you're a very busy man, and thank you very much for attending to this interview. I'll move on to another aspect of conversation. Threats and intimidation. I think we lost it. So he's gonna rejoin.
Yeah, sorry, you know.
No, no, we are all with you. We are all with you, say, but for the business of progress, I want to move on quickly because, like I say again, the critical side of this interview will be waiting transpired in a court recently. George Fisher, Ambassador Sonia Sane, people they really want to as and one of the side I want to cover right now is the one of intimidation by private citizens or citizens that will belong to a political party. They go and threaten openly the general public and specifically members of the opposition, and nothing is being done. And this has been ongoing. I want to play one tape for you quickly, and I want to let you listen to them. I'm not gonna play all of them, but probably you will recognize them, and I want to let you express your sentiment based on the tape you sir.
Sleep. The king will only enjoy this facility if you meet up Kungrawe lazy. But I did tell you some Kungra then the way pick you say the mammy not sleep. It would batter you let you continue for crying. If they say cry for torment the mama, because I cry no more. Second audio. The last tactics now where APC get now discouragement. When the president don't reach 4 years, the message now where that they preach to the people then are for discourage the people them. Hey, in 4 years, we not see nothing. Oh, the president will be the expect. Oh, the soldier will be the expect. Then we not vote for our. Now then they say that they pull up. Oh, the one will be vote for. They not doing this. This man don't reach 4 years. We not see nothing. Then they discourage the people. They discourage message to the extent I've been there inside one taxi. Now one APC guy say that was the discourage.
Minkailu, I guess you hear that, sir, and I sure say you recognize the voice. Okay, we don't lost him briefly. Let me wait till he come back. He go come back. We need for round up.
But me, Kamara, MET, we get for go down with him.
Right. Okay. Let me just bring Minkailu come back quickly. And Minkailu, I want to say thank you to you because despite the constraint, you still try to get your message through, which is very, very important in behalf of the Sierra Leonean people. I've been to play you an audio. I just want to play about 30 seconds or 1 minute of Let me just continue there.
Go register. No one another will not go for enter. We go for village to village, house to house. So that one message, that one discouragement message, it not go work. So now they don't go now for discourage the people. Now they load inside train, inside Boston, they say they pass, they go to an after that, 4 years, they don't see some. But that very bridge, they make not see them. Now reach the they say 4 years, they don't see something. The way that they preach this man is more than I begin like he was the street. Then they wait for school bus.
Okay. Obviously, disinformation, misinformation. Abu na in tape I've been try for play. One na Kamara, and the other one na Abu. Abu openly threatened other citizens of the republic, including the former president, including yourself and many others, of waiting will become una fate because of waiting una they do. Openly, the tape is all over the place. It's gone viral. Yet nothing is being done towards people of this. Are you, one, A, fearful for your life? Two, are you surprised that no action is being taken up to now, even though the tape available? But if it had been the opposite, then by now you have been the victim of the police, we'll talk about shortly. You will have been in jail or in detention for such statements.
Yes, that is why our statements are guided. I am not surprised because within a country, without say the rule of law and respect for human rights not actually they at play. You know, people like Abu Abu and one other notorious one we then call Austin Johnny. Then there's I'll be there on a program. I tell and say Austin Johnny, if you be there in any country of law, most of people and they dispense law fairly. You for they behind bars by now. You know, for even this sit on at TV already for talk. Because this is a guy we also be don't threaten, say then go kill former president and it's by Koroma, then go kill the National Secretary General Usman Fode and Sane. He get a list of people that we say then they on death row. Nothing another one. If they pass in peace, you know, they live comfortable and nobody threatening. Whereas we get people then for merely expressing their opinions,
Yeah.
they arrest them, they incarcerate them, including a female politician, Femi Claudius Cole. We don't see them invite an CID for express an opinion regarding the census. We don't see Diana Konomani. We don't see the chairman of NGC, Dr. Dennis Bright.
Dennis Bright. Yep.
Yeah, we don't see them invite them. We don't see CDR Tunis. They invite and arrest and detain. Even Usman Fode and Sane, they don't invite them. Kamo Kaba was incarcerated at some point for 1 month at Pademba Road, the other time for 1 week. We don't see a lot of them things and they don't happen for just expressing an opinion. You know, they don't do that to them. Now, and why they go and give threatening remarks. Abu is not doing it for the first time. Resident minister not. The last time he threatened, say, the one there with the McKinney, we say, I mean, I didn't trust them go wear. And I hope go down the ways. And if they not be careful, then mama then go wear black. In order to see the McKinney killings. We then strike for generator, we then go for go take day. We see them kill people there in broad daylight. Extrajudicial killing. No court martial. Nobody was asked. No inquest. No nothing. It don't happen at this country. But I just want to remind the likes of Abu Abu and the host of the others where they go and do them here for say crime, not the rotting. Very recently, just less than 48 hours ago, we see what happened at Burkina Faso. Blaise Compaoré was sentenced to life imprisonment for killing Thomas Sankara, in predecessor. After 35 years, we see them sentenced to life imprisonment. Then after you say, what you do bad? If you not say law do and law not the rotting, crime not the rotting. No matter how it take. Now make the government. Even we APC, if you God make a win by 2023, will come. We'll not foresee they can revenge. We'll not foresee they can do bad. We'll not foresee they can divide the country, but they implement the law to the fullest. So law will realize that day.
Okay. That sounds very calculated and very mature. It doesn't sound like there will be revenge, because I was going to go that way for ask you that question, this sir. But let me ask you about the recent by-election in Koya constituency 073, which was a much constituted and a constituency whose people really concentrate on, because we see the release of one of una strong and charismatic member them. And they do a program on them very soon when Dr. Alpha Khan, we apparently seem for they on side with the SLPP. They campaign against in former party, but at the same time they try for say that in all left in party now government now you go work for. But I don't understand how that works. So maybe you go able for throw light on them. But my question on Koya 073, sir, is there anything that the All People's Congress learned from that exercise the way happen 073?
Yeah, I was a part and parcel of the elections in 073. And I
Good.
have been a part and parcel of most by-elections. You know, I played a role, significant role. Padiwana 110, the by-election at Kwainadugu district. A lot of other by-elections around. I don't participate fully. The one at Koya, not to exception. You see, the Koya situation is very unique. Unique in the sense that we get low voter turnout because of intimidation. The
Okay. All right.
voter turnout now. Hello,
Yeah, carry on, sir. Carry on.
hello.
Yeah, carry on. Would they hear you? Carry on. Okay. So again, we get a technical problem there, but he understands the problem very much, and definitely go sign on back because this is very quick. We dey talk to none other but Minkailu Koroma, and we appreciate him so much. Okay, you're back, sir. We appreciate you so much because you do understand these constraints, and the fact that you're living up to it means that you want to get a message out there to the people, and hopefully the people will get the message. So you will say something regarding
Yeah,
Koya
the voter turnout
3.
been very low.
Yeah.
Yeah, low because of the intimidation. And I am on record to have stated that we are aware that the SLPP might tend for bring camp Boku policeman there or military man there for intimidate the people on polling day. Yeah, I stated very clearly in one of the campaign messages. It will not surprise. Some people were influenced with money because they no one vote against the APC, they not vote at all. We see the intimidation. Then give motorbikes to people. The first lady went there. A lot of government officials were there. The president make a stop day at some point. Everybody,
Vice
the
President.
SLP, the president, the vice president saying I put lock in come out. Of course, in your he had go down day. Almost every other weekend he did it. The president made a stop. Then get one them party office now the constituency waiting at the highway, waiting at that Songo Highway, yeah, Waterloo Songo Highway. He made the stop. They say then they go reopen just because they want to go campaign. We see all landing, promise motorbike, where they give the people there, promise boku thing there. So they make the voter apathy. A lot of people no want to vote against the APC. Instead, they abstain. So imagine a less than 35% vote. We still get 60% of the total votes. So just imagine if now be 80% or 90% voter turnout. We for still get a good amount of votes for we the APC. They did all they could. They intimidated the people. A whole sitting MP was arrested and dragged by the IG himself. Just imagine we get the AIG Northwest because that particular constituency fall at the Northwest region. We even get the LUC and Mashaka. We get other police heads them around. How IG go gap? You go by election for just a constituency. If anything happen, the police get confrontation now with the people then. At least you the IG now, you them for the go lay complaint to. Not to all thing IG for the grab go to. The same cannot be said for Kailan. Kailan people and vote in a peaceful atmosphere. Police presence be very low. Nobody was intimidated. But whenever elections they in an APC stronghold, they will intimidate strategic APC people. They will intimidate the voters. Then they instill fear in them for letting not turn out for go vote. That happened in that constituency day. With all the
Okay.
Alpha Khan and other people and the VP we say they then come out. I mean, they're not still able to make the inroads so then they anticipate say then go make because the people really, really know what is right and what is wrong, and they don't make up their mind for a change.
One quick question on Koya 073 before we go on to the next one, and it's just quickly, and because you mentioned, percentage wise, in other words, the percentage where APC get from there, but you equally say if intimidation not been there and there was a larger voter turnout, it's obvious that the percentage will have been greater. But does it bother you, Mr. Kuruma, that the SLPP, according to the official report, managed to get over 40% of vote from your backyard, your stronghold? Does it bother you at all? And if it bother you, has something been done so that you don't have a recurrence of that, or is there something responsible for this? Okay, I don't think say they hear me. You hear me, sir? Okay, no, we not hear you. We not hear you. We not hear you. Okay, so we don't lose them again. So you need for come out. If you hear me, you need for come out and come in because we know they hear you. Probably you hear me. We know they hear you. We know they hear you. Yeah. So hopefully the brother go log off and log on again so that we go connect again. And I need for cut these questions then while they ask now and go straight to the point so that we don't lose it. Okay. You need for come out, sir. Okay. I think I can remove you. I think I can remove you and then you can come in again. We kick from studio. Okay, he's gone and he's going to come back. So what have been the try for ask the brother? Of course, una the audience una hear that clearly, and that's based on the case where he make that now they struggled, and despite all the star-studded campaigners they with them pull in person of the first lady Alpha Khan, yet still this is what they got. But my point is, this is the backyard, and now your backyard, do you feel threatened going forward? That even though you win them and you get this amount of percentage, what about the other percentage where the opposition gets now your backyard? And a man we're very well informed. So I'll be one for let a talk on that. Hopefully he will come back and then we move to the final phase of this very, very interesting interview. Ladies and gentlemen, just a quick reminder before we take a quick commercial break. The only commercial break. We don't get few commercial breaks. We dip and put the videos then together. I think we don't get 3 now. So we're doing well. But equally, I say, if we get thousands of people that view us, come on, man, please don't shy away from either liking or commenting. You can be critical. Just make sure say irrespectful. Be critical of we, like Trevor did, even though he's completely wrong, but that's what he did. Okay. Um, Payamba, welcome again. But we just need to do a quick commercial break, and then at the commercial break for today, and then we will come right back to you, sir.
All right.
Okay, Fambulent, today on the 10th of April, 2022, and we're having a very special conversation here with Mr. Minkailu Payamba Alfred Koroma. Very much of a heavyweight within the opposition, All People's Congress, APC. And it's unfortunate that this program was supposed to have been held on yesterday. We did an advert on it and it generates so much interest. But because of some reason or the other, we been got for pull out of the interview. But then it was scheduled impromptu for today, and we're not been get the chance for advertise them at all. But that's no problem because the platform in itself is established. We just get we short commercial, that's from Mingles. We get 3 more. We don't add to we commercials them. But we dip and work on the video and the voice over. But for today, we get Mr. Alfred Minkailu Payamba Koroma with we. We don't lost time a little bit, but there are many things we will talk about. And I want to fast forward and now to the main item for today. The main item for today, this interview, where most people then will be interested in. And what are the people interested in right now? It's waiting happen at court. Waiting happen at court. Justice Adrian Fisher. And what we understand when they go to the court, Justice Adrian Fisher do something which is unprecedented in terms of with judiciary services in our country. That a private individual for whom, the other member then, say senior member them, Ambassador Usman Yansane and others have said, this man is not a member of the organization because remember, you get for hold somebody accountable as being a member of the organization for let you bring proceedings against them. Before I go to the final conclusion of this interview, because you've done quite well, sir, there were a few more questions, but I will have to let you go at some point. On the same Koya elections 073, you mentioned that because of poor turnout of voters, them, so therefore the numbers obviously are down. And because of intimidations and etc., had there not been, then obviously, therefore don't do quite well. Una for don't do quite well. But my question to you, Mr. Koroma, is the SLPP, the opposition party, managed for Ghana, according to the official results, over 40% of the vote. In terms of the numbers, almost 3,000, 2,700 plus. Does this not worry you, sir, that in your stronghold, this is what the opposition did there? Or is there a story to this kind of number where they make up the?
That cannot be said for general elections. In our way at all. We don't do analysis done. We know say now because of the low voter turnout, two now because of intimidation, and three normally when it is by election, naturally people are not can just show up so for go vote. Unlike the general elections, we all man go know say this na election period. It go left for go na in farm, it go left for go na in business place. The awareness not too dey for say by election we will get that kind of voter turnout. So this is not a normal election, a by election. So let them not rely on that and think say they don't make inroads. They not go on doing a we on stronghold because then go there with all the might, all the resources, with all kind of intimidation, with the hope that they go win that constituency. We went there as an opposition, but formidable with we own resources that we able to get to people and for listen to we and for vote to we. So the same cannot be said for general election. They should not rely on that anyway.
On that basis, they within your rank and file, sir, you get people that will differ with you in terms of your approach and the way how you positively see things. Of course, these are things that you will be very familiar with. Just before I pose the next question on the same basis, at one point you still call yourself the Redeemer. Is that correct? That you are called the Redeemer?
Yeah, yes, it is very correct. It is very
And
correct. Hello. Hello.
did you hear me, sir? Okay, never mind. He will come back. He understands the rules of the game. This is what we call seniority, and that's exactly what the brother is exhibiting. Yeah. So Payamba, if you hear me now, I've been to talk about you being known as the Redeemer, and I mean just want to know why you call. Is it still the same? Is it true? Is it still the same? And why you the Redeemer? What did that exactly mean? Hello, Payamba. Okay, he's frozen. He's frozen. Let me remove him and add him. Yeah, okay. With a count towards the end, fumble them and a little bit more patience. This is what happens. You don't want to go up the hill like Martin Luther King. From the hill spot, he could see the promised land, but he never arrived at or in the promised land. But in this case, we want for Lepayamba arrived in the promised land. Okay, one for they arrive. So I don't know whether the email we see it will come back, yeah, kind of shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, we're coming towards the end of this particular interview. Very critical interview. Very, very critical because we need to understand where are we heading, and why we are heading where we are heading. What can the difference or whose kind difference the party in power can make? Whose kind difference the party with the in opposition can make? I get only one video. I mean a series of videos then for play for let the border assess. But I get only one today, and I will play that one day when he join we. Hopefully he joins us very soon. And I want to appreciate him, and I hope say every one of us will appreciate him for making effort because the circumstances they are difficult, they are really difficult for what he do. The internet is poor, the services is poor, it is slow, it is costly, but yet you get for we full all of that. No more for let you get a message out to the people. So one for tell the brother, thank you so much. Hopefully when he comes again, and then we go take him from there and see what goes on. So now we will only now we will only promotion for So this now for just continue for remember Fambulem. This now the T and N TV media empire, previously known as the Then and Now media empire. We still the Then and Now media empire, but every serious organization over a period of time they evolve, and you evolve for the better, for more connection to the people that you speak to. This is what really material to what we do. So now that we do. So we cut down, a few how you call them alphabets, few letters from the then and the now. It becomes the T and N TV. T and N TV. We still T and N TV media empire, but the media empire is the parent organization that encompasses everything that we do. But like what they do so now are just one component of the empire, which is T and N TV. But tonight we will talk to Minkailu Koroma. It's taken a while since he gone. I dey hope say go come back for let we just wrap this up in terms of waiting happen at court, waiting the salon people and for expect, waiting the APC supporters then for expect. But let remember say the border they go through constraints as well, don't they? Because even as we been to talk to them, current people make come back with negotiations. Again, we don't get much in the chat room. Very few. Fatima. Okay, before Fatima, we get Mr. Mikalu. Can you please tell Sierra Leoneans? Okay, that was Momo Kamara. I think I read that. I think so far that's all we've got there from the people. Let me also remember say this interview is being broadcasted live to at the same time. YouTube and Facebook. This Tuesday we're supposed to forget Alpha Khan, whether he's gone rogue. I believe say this interview will be postponed. This conversation will be postponed on to Wednesday or Thursday. But wanna keep our eyes and ears open. I not think say this will happen again on Tuesday as it was planned. Again, the midterm census conversation, a monologue, a very powerful monologue based on fact-checking mission will be aired the same week, probably Friday or Saturday. And we got series of charity organizations. We go equally one for talk to where we say one for talk to for help for promote. Okay, they need help from people out there, and we hope say people then will help them. So I'm not sure whether Minkailu will be back, but I promise you now if you not come back, because this particular issue we want to talk about, APC in court one, Justice Fisher, waiting Justice Fisher say, how we say what he say, the unprecedented action of George Fisher, how the judiciary seems to have been compromised, that a private individual is making remark as much as like the remark. What has it got to do with the judiciary and holding other people to ransom, if I may say, in behalf of somebody else, where speculatively you think, say, this person they support this person. So therefore you try to hold this person for hold the other person responsible. Hold on a minute, I'm lost. Also, lawyer Sise, Ahmed Sise will come to the program because Mama can follow the judiciary conversation there. Hopefully, go come. I'm not sure whether this week because we kind of full this week, but maybe if somebody drop off or maybe there's a day, we might make use of it. I will continue talking for the next 5 minutes. If we guess not appear again, because so far in this particular interview, this is the longest he's gone for, but we want to appreciate him. If he not turn up again, we take and say there are major constraints, and so therefore he will not be turning up. And then we'll just conclude the program and then close them. But we'll not forget the program on Alpha Khan they come, the program on midterm elections they come, the program on lawyer Ahmed Sise they come, and many more. Please bear in mind that Supermed will be away for 3 weeks, 3 more weeks from today. Okay. And okay, luckily I think he's back. I hope he's back. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. You there, me, sir?
Loud and clear.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you so much again, for this opportunity, because we want for land. There were a few questions I was asking around the other things them, but it's so good you don't address them. Even though I've been ask you about your name, your title, where you get. But I think I will get for move on away from that. We'll go talk about them another time because there are other things that are really important to this.
Okay.
So let's take a flow down to USA one for go, which is the NRM. Of course, it sounds much more like history to you, sir. But if we not be understand USA will be there, what we do, what we been do then, we can't understand where we are and where we are going. But I know you've gone past that. But just for the benefit of the platform and the listeners, the NRM, you were once a part of it. You've moved on, you've had your compromises for the sake of country and party. What's the relationship with you and Mr. Alfred Conte?
He's a comrade. Yeah, I regard him as a brother. We may have our dissenting opinions when it comes to addressing issues. We may have different approaches, but he's a member of the All People's Congress, and my respect for him is intact. Yeah, I don't get no issues with him. You know, we all been a try for push, forget a reform APC, forget a new constitution of the APC. You know, a reach a peak where we be not anticipate, say, being in court go cause unnecessary delay. We put some proposal into the party, say let the party address. And we've been just know say if the party address them proposal and they were home and guy. You know, we are not actually fighting for the leadership to be ousted. It was never a revolution, it was a reformation. Revolution, you know, now a way of trying to oust a leadership, or for topple leadership, pull them, they will let them come out. Now we for can take over. Reformation and for act that some changes then be effected so that we will get a very good party going forward. So for we go back and forth, get a lot of tussle. The history very long, but to reach a peak where we negotiate, you know, we compromise with various positions. We as the reformers and the leadership, we sign an MOU. We're gonna court to end the matter. Well, we fall out with Alfred Conte and others, not the ones that we end the matter in a court. But we think say we only gonna court for let we get the platform for a roundtable discussion. Let them take everything serious, let we address the issues. And we know say court not going to give a final, you know, solution to party problem. Because we been get the roundtable, we get the issues negotiated. In fact, we reconstitute the CRC. The committee will be for review the constitution, we reconstitute her. We come back, we go over the constitution page by page, line by line. They incorporate members of the NRM up to 6. Now the Constitutional Review Committee, then we get our rights. How we think say we want them. Some of the things where other people then challenge, where then deny, even though we don't go adopt the constitution, we then kick against. When then come PPRC say no, these are the provisions of the law. Like we all get for do with the youth age, 18 to 35, we propose and they, you know, some people then kick against them. But later, we come to PPRC back, then tell them say, really youth by definition of your national youth policy and international instrument for Africa, now 18 to 35. So we been get all 100% of what we ask for as NRM. We still want let we pull selection puller, let pull anti-party activity clause, let get a time limit, let we get election all through and through, let separate the office of the president, the chairman, and that of the leader. All what we ask for, we get them. Everything we get in abundance. So we not been think say it was necessary for us to continue being in court. So Alfred Conte then hold the view say, then doubt the sincerity of the leadership, and so then things in a court will give them final solution to the problem. So that was a divergent point. Yeah, that was the point where we separate because we believe,
So,
say, with the negotiations, we are home and dry.
of course, and that not the divergent points there, just like you say, and there are most people who will say because you try to be very generous there, he's a comrade, but your poles apart. You've reconciled your position with the party a long time ago, and you're doing quite well. Mr.
Yeah.
Alfred Conte appeared, despite how you may not agree or not, he's still bitter with the way you went, the party went, so therefore he's still in court and he's
Yeah,
dragging the
well,
party.
you see, when we approach issues that has got to do with public interest, not to young personal interest they put before.
You're not implying that Mr. Alfred Conte is putting his personal interest
Now,
before.
me just
Are
say,
you?
now waiting will be the ask for now reforms. Will be the ask for a modern day and democratic constitution.
Where you say
Oh,
we, where you say we, who
we
that are
the
the we
we
there?
members of the National Reformation Movement NRM,
And that
You
will
know,
include Mr.
it was
Conte.
not just a Minkailu Koroma decision. The
And that
NRM is
will
a
include
movement.
Mr. Conte.
Yeah, Alfred Conte, they were part of the ARM where they abandoned, then can't join the NRM because they know say the NRM be there on the right course. But at some point they had wanted to deviate us from our focus. We say no, Paddy, when I meet we get focus. And nobody no go deviate we from this focus. We are not here to topple the leadership. We are just here to get the party reformed. After that, we dey go into elections. Who are interested for contest for whatever position, go contest. If the people elect you, so be it. Yeah, so that is it. Now the divergent point down there.
Okay. Many thanks again, Mr. Koroma, for that. But at the same time, you are being dragged in and out of court, sir. And as we speak today, we are seeing things that are unprecedented. Even in a country where there is so much drama, we continue to see more a new drama then. Also, we did today, Mr. Koroma, with the party being in court, retracting, withdrawing this case na court we seem for the prolong because it seemed like there is an invincible hand way also they behind that. So it's not only about the APC any longer, but it's within the judicious process. So tell me what you think about the judiciary in terms of waiting we they see about your own party being dragged into the mud where it seemed like not only party members are doing this, but they also have the help and aid of others. And I speak theoretically because in this case, or circumstantially, because in this case, I not get no evidence. Because I did been left with only una, probably una for don't reconcile una issue, una can sit down, una not glasses and eat with una and casada leaf or something. But now it's still the drag to a point where a justice of the court of Sierra Leone, a justice, and I talk about Adrian Fisher, introduced a member of the general public, a Sierra Leonean, where your party don't dissociate themselves with, say, this man not a member of we party, but then the justice, as I understand them, they hold that man they responsible and all una responsible say, una for all that man they responsible for let it change in view about me. I wonder how they get them wrong. If I do you correct me, but can you speak to that, please?
Yeah, I hold the view that the judiciary is not dispensing justice, how they for dispense them. Some of we don't reprimand them countlessly. You know, we don't be bold enough for state them facts here. But as far as the case under review concerned, the one we get for do with Alfred Peter Conte and the APC leadership, he did before a judge. Generally, I go assess the judiciary. But as far as this case concerned, I not go want comment on her.
Yeah.
Because being legal minded, you go subjective to what we call sub judice. We mean say not yet decided by law or by the judiciary. The case is before the judge, you know. But generally, the bigger problem with the judiciary now it make we also not waste time. We will negotiate for law we discontinue matter because we know say we not go get what we want from there. And we are not so difficult because one will not been get any forces behind our back. Would the regulatory for say do this or not? We went to court genuinely. We went there in the best interest of the party. And when we get them right, we went to court, we walked to court one morning and discontinued the matter. We're not being get post where they call me in a corner say Minkailu na this bargain we don't make Minkailu na this promise we be don't give, Minkailu na so we be don't receive from we, and so we not attempt for go pull that matter in a court. Nobody not stop we for pull am. We go pull am because now crank go day and we don't negotiate, we don't get them right. Yeah. Me think say Justice Fisher, are you getting me?
Yeah, loud and clear, sir.
I think say if I look into the merit of the case, you know, uncommon, more often than not, when judges and magistrates and they preside over cases, people then can write threatening remarks, then can write envelope, go docker under, then do mouth, then go put flower, then say, now you grave this, then go do all kind of threatening. But judges, they not live beyond reproach, they not live beyond them petty circumstances, then they, and then don't look the position of the law, the merit of the case. You know, uncommon, not only all over the world, it happen. Some person they go threaten you say, Tina, you dey preside over this case, and so thing will happen to you. Then they threaten people they're all over the place. But you as a judge, where they serve the conscience, you they serve the country, you know, a civil servant, you don't under an oath for dispense justice. to the best of your ability without being partial. I think say you for discard all them petty sentiment and do what in the law require you for do.
So what are some
Take
of
the
them
position
petty
of the law.
sentiments, and they I know say that there are some things
No,
that you
well,
don't want
petty
to comment on
sentiment.
because you don't want to
If you
compromise the
express
case.
opinion, say a certain individual that we as a party don't disassociate ourselves from. We don't state clearly in the press release say he's not a member of the All People's Congress. And what they do not to for and on behalf of the All People's Congress. Even in court, I was in attendance with lawyers them make a passionate plea. Lawyers from both sides, the APC and African content lawyers them. They make a passionate plea. Say, my lord, the All People's Congress don't write a press release, don't disassociate or disassociate himself from a certain Adebayo and don't talk say not to a member of the All People's Congress. So do you who they beg Adebayo in issue, let not camp our case. You know, get anything for do with the merits of this case. Let we do the case, let we discuss the case from the position of the law. Let we they beg that recuse yourself from this case. We'll go there, the Chief Justice go get another judge, we'll start all over again. I mean, it will take time. You don't deal with this case from the time we start to now. Now you go there in the best position for decide. What will they look up to now on a final judgment? Both parties don't give them written and oral, presentations or argument. All we need now on a final judgment. So I was there in court. Luckily, lawyers from we side, the APC and Alfred Content representative, they all talk from the same position that they did. They all plead with the judge. Say, do ya with the big. Let us resolve this. What they will see always happen and say he called the Secretary General, instruct him for make he go tell Adebayo, let apologize to him and the nation. We witness all that thing, but as far as we know, I'm not going to say anything we go prejudice the case under review because it will be sub judice. But I think say the judge for look the position of the law and forget the other petty sentiments in a distraction to her. Let's focus on waiting at the position of the law and the merits of the case.
Okay. Many thanks for that clarification because there are two things that will be well established there. That first of all, indeed, this happened inside court. It happened inside court that a certain
Yeah,
individual.
I am giving you an eyewitness account. I was there in
Yeah,
attendance.
I get it, sir, and I appreciate that. And it's good way you mention that so people then know say you were there and what you they
For
say is
convince,
some.
for convince the court, he even play the audio. Usa he Alexei Adebayon calls him, he talks say in Peking, this, that.
My
He play
God.
am for the hearing of the court. I was in court, I was in attendance.
I mean, Minkailu, I don't think by training or profession you are a lawyer, but in some cases, you don't need them professional training and therefore understand whether it was right or wrong. And in this case, I they try for say, waiting Adrian Fisher do. Ladies and gentlemen, now the final now we can to so, but it's been a very interesting conversation in which we they try for set record straight. It's not about the party that you belong to. We are not talking about partisanship here. We are talking about country. We are talking about the law. We are talking about the democratic space. We are talking about democratic pluralism, political parties, the rule of law, governance. That's what we are talking about. Not particularly about political party. That's not definitely what the platform represents. And what would they talk to today and who that would they talk to today? It's none other but Minkailu Koroma. Where we ask him is, even though he's not a trained lawyer, that is not in profession at all, not get anything with a legal background. He could be a chemist, an engineer, something from the humanities. But waiting in witness na court, how is Siam? I say, I not associate with somebody. And then you they try for associate me with somebody because you get problem with them. So therefore you they hold me responsible. I find that difficult. It's not impossible, but I find that difficult to understand. So, in other words, you try for coerce me, intimidate me, pressure me, because on the basis of suspicion, because I don't believe you've got any proof, or the proof is just circumstantial. But we shall leave that, and hopefully, Minkailu Koroma come for let we just wrap up the program. We've done so well so far, and today, Fambulem, of course, the dates don't change because it don't go past 12 o'clock. Now that can happen to them program they are because you want for so many issues to be addressed that you can go over the time limit. But this is the very end that we are coming to. And if he not even come again, I think he's addressed it all. But we've done quite well. And I'm quite pleased that we're able to get the information out there to the people on many fronts. And what we go do tomorrow, we go try for dissect this video in 5-10 minutes clip or below 4-3 minutes and begin for spread them around. So everybody has a chance for listening to a little bit of the interview conducted here today. Some of it will be done in MP3 format, so it become like an audio version. And I want to say thank you very much. Let's see if anything they on the okay, that's then Phil say we don't know. Okay, that's Trevor again. That's just the same old same. Same old same. Minkailu, if you hear me, you no need for come back again, sir, but you've done quite absolutely well. The questions that I was just going to ask is about how convinced you are about 2023 in terms of all the efforts that you are making. Are you confident that there's going to be a change? Will there be a cultural change? Okay, I think he's back. I mean, he's done quite well tonight, I must say. I really must say. Yeah. Okay, Minkailu, if you hear me, and we need to end this program, sir, and I know it goes beyond, but you've done absolutely, absolutely well. And I think, say, you don't address most of the issues that way really, really important to this program. And you hear me, sir?
Yeah, they hear you.
Okay. I want to end this program now because I know say we don't go beyond no light,
Yeah,
no this, that, and you really,
sure.
yeah. I mean, you've done quite well, sir, and this effort of yours, I hope it pays by getting the information out there to the people. So let I ask you this final question because going forward, I hope to host you one or two other times in which the program will be shorter. This is not my first time I host you, and I've enjoyed every part of it. You even the way the best of the team where they support, so there's some connection there. But in real body politics, let me be professional. 2023. In fact, before I let you go, let me just play this video for you, and now we will do for assess the final question what I will ask you. This is the video, sir.
Now, right now, they tell we say, fear no day. I said people, I said people will not get fear. That's what they say. And see, but we all know say, now the whole country, the whole world right now, now they never suffer for fear business because of the war with Russia. But like you that this information, what you tell me, some of you are not sabi. Do you know? Then they say fear no day. And through me fear no day. You know why fear no day? Because all the petrol stations and APC gets them. And they get all the petrol stations then. So when they want ESFPP bad name, then they lock the petrol stations then, they say fear no day. If you make your country, no they make play people and suffer, even when you're in opposition. So yeah, anytime when they tell them I say fear no day, we are telling them say after hope today, anytime when NP day, NP, APC then get them. Real pro, APC then get them. We sabi all things. So the next thing that they lock when they ready, when they don't say they don't get nothing for getting Sierra Leone. When they ready, they lock the real stations there. They say some people know who give them fear.
Okay. I don't know whether you hear that video day or you understand that video day because I sure say you for don't see them.
Yeah, I read clearly. I understand.
Okay, so let's just ask the final question on that basis day, which is there is so much being thrown at you. And from the beginning of this interview, you're a very clever man. You take them, address the same issue than they, what is being thrown at you. And you try to make a comparative analysis between the then and the now, where you party been serving a power, what you wanna do, and etc. Where I ask you the question, but if that was true, why they kick una out of power? But we understand because you also go on for make me for understand, say, in the real world of body politics, this is not the way it works. I know say you be want to give me some political lecture, but of course, time not day in we favor. But on that program day in which the first lady they try for blame Una, there is a misnomer there, and there's many of it, sir. One moment, you don't be in power for 4 years. All the responsibility is yours. 1 year, 2 years, whether the economy been bad where you inherit, it's yours now. The late Colin Powell been say, if you broke it or you broke, you own for your Hap are you all in news? This is information that allegedly against the polls. How prepared are you for 2023? And waiting at the general message where you get for you people them? That's the end of my question. The floor is all yours.
Yeah, thank you very much. You see, to start with, the video is appalling, to say the least. When we been there, we not been there complain. Like you rightly state, the SLPP was voted via a social contract. The manifesto, SLPP manifesto 2018, what they call the new direction. In fact, they call it the People's Manifesto. This manifesto, yeah, SLPP manifesto 2018, this one. Now, based on this, the people then vote them, yeah. A social contract exists. Then vote them because they say that they can't better the people than life, that they can't improve the economy, the health sector, agricultural productivity, that they bring comfort, then they improve electricity. Now blackout, so blackout now they pan at the city, the heart of Freetown. I reside. Look, now my phone light are they use so even the
Yeah.
Chinese light don't go out of charge. Yeah. Then talk a lot of things. So how can you now come and start making claims saying that APC get the petrol station there? Now APC na government we responsible for subsidies. But
Yeah.
even if na APC get the petrol station there, waiting at the percentage where government they get. The petroleum, owners, industry owners, and they don't make them very clear. The one way they deal in petroleum products. Say for any 1 liter we then sell, if you then get 8,000, the 7,000 a government get them. So why government not go sacrifice that 7,000 day for say let fuel not go up? Why they not the sacrifice them? So they not just get for calm and the talk. The taxation is very high, and whatever 1 liter then they sell, government get percentage. Why government not go say well, who they give subsidies? This percentage law will not get again so that the fuel not go up. If they're able to make money on the other side. Now, because they're not able to make money, they cannot manage the economy. So, First Lady, that statement, appropriate. The shell blame to opposition saying that then get the petrol station there. Let government say we no want for take any percentage. That percentage they wanna sell the fuel at a cheaper rate so that we go cushion the suffering of the masses then. I think say government if you do that they appropriate. But for 2023, we are more than prepared. We are ready and ready. We don't go through a tough, rugged, and challenging circumstance. For now, we exist as an opposition. The SLPP came with a mindset for wipe away the APC. They started with the GTT government transition team report, then come with the commissions of inquiry. With the hope that then go confiscate or seize or take by authority property belong to stalwart or stakeholders of the APC. That by so doing, then go cripple the APC financially, and that the APC not go in position for even contest an election. Then fail for realizing even if you arrest 100 APC, you get 1,000 more where they come up with very vibrant, way economically strong, we get all it takes for even serving a leadership position. The APC is an institution. It is going to be succeeded by succeeding generations. So no amount of something or the way go do for kill the APC. That's just not possible. We were there on the ground, the ordinary market two man where they sell in plazas, where they sell fish na Dovecourt, Magina, Abacha State. They're all ready for pour their money into the party. Would I go give 1,000 loans, 5,000 loans, 10,000 loans, as the case may be? They are all ready to do that. So confiscating property belonging to APC stalwart or stakeholders, setting up a commission of inquiry still cannot stop the APC from winning the next election. That is why when we start in 2018, we say we want to reform the party, Lord create a level playing field, let the people and get a sense of ownership. Then they don't happen now at the party. The party don't go to the grassroots, the truthful owners of the party. Sovereignty belongs to the people. They don't take ownership. The SLPP is going to witness a devastating defeat when they not ever witnessed in the history of this country. So let them be prepared because we are ready. We are mobilizing our people. We are mobilizing resources, and we are going to take on them head on.
Wow. Programs normally end on a high. And this is definitely one program that has ended on a high. Because if any of your party supporters are listening tonight, what you've provided for them, Mr. Koroma, is unbelievable. For sleep, I definitely believe they're going to sleep because some of them are just looking for definitely this assurance. Which I want for say, sir, I want for say thank you so much. Despite the constraints, you managed to live up to the expectations. If you don't have the first time at the interview you on the platform, you've been on this platform, I think 2 or 3 times, but this is my first time interviewing you. I look forward, yeah, for a future interview as well. And I want to say thank you so much for all the constraints and taking up the opportunity and giving me the opportunity for interview you. I wish you all the best, sir, and many thanks.
Yeah, thank you to the Now and Then Media Empire. I must congratulate you. You are doing a very good job. When they take information to the doorstep of the people, a lot of Sierra Leoneans and crave for this opportunity where they live abroad for know waiting they happen back home. So for long I create this platform for let the people and know waiting they happen back home, and they have good day in a position for make a sound judgment and take informed decision when they do very well for the country, not only for opposition or dissenting views, but even for the incumbent government. Let God bless una and let God continue for protect una.
Yes, and I deeply, deeply do appreciate that. And I sure say Supermed watching tonight will appreciate that. And ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end once again of another magnificent program in which the guest tonight has been exceptionally exceptional. Exceptionally exceptional. And is none other but Mr. Minkailu Koroma, who has provided us with in-depth analysis, in-depth knowledge of where we were, where we are, and where we're heading. And we are grateful for that. There are many other programs coming up this particular week. We've got Alpha Khan, and there's a question: has he gone rogue? There's also another program that we call the midterm census. President Bioto used the midterm census result, how he intends to use it. There will be an in-depth analysis on that. And there are a few other programs that are coming on this particular week. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a TNN Media Empire production. I've been the host and presenter, Mr. Prince Emil Kroma, saying good night to all of you for now. Good night and bye-bye.